And welcome back, everybody, to day 2, 31 days through the Proverbs. We're taking 31 days to march through each of the Proverbs. So let's go ahead and get through the text. Proverbs 2, starting in verse 1. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commandments within you, make your ear attentive to wisdom, incline your heart to understanding. For if you cry for discernment, lift your voice for understanding. If you seek her as silver and search for her as for hidden treasures, then you will discern the fear of the Lord and discover the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity, guarding the paths of justice, and he preserves the way of his godly ones. Then you will discern righteousness and justice and equity for every good course. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will guard you. Understanding will watch over you, to deliver you from the way of evil, from the man who speaks perverse things, from those who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who delight in doing evil and rejoice in the perversity of evil, whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways. To deliver you from the strange woman, from the adulteress who flatters with her words, that leaves the companion of her youth and forgets the covenant of her God. For her house sinks down to death, and her tracks lead to the dead. None who go to her return again, nor do they reach the paths of life. So you will walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright will live in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the treacherous will be uprooted from it. Some thoughts on Proverbs 2. Again, each day I'll give you some quick thoughts on it, but again, before you hear my thoughts, maybe even pause the video and kind of jot down your own on the text that you just wrote, because mine are not necessarily the right ones, right? But they're the ones that at least jumped out at me for that day. So as we look at the key verses here, and I wrote down verses 3 through 5, and let's look at those again. For if you cry for discernment, lift your voice for understanding. If you seek her as silver and search for her as for hidden treasures, then you will discern the fear of the Lord and discover the knowledge of God. Notice that this is a process. It's not a passive thing that you're doing, but there's activeness in here that is required by you. You're crying for discernment. You're lifting your voice for understanding. You're asking God for discernment and for understanding. And if you seek wisdom as silver and search for wisdom as hidden treasures, when you're searching for hidden treasures, it's a process. You don't just immediately find that. What a great illustration of the Christian walk as we make our way and navigate this crazy world that we're searching for. We're keeping our discernment for the fear of the Lord, and we're discovering the knowledge of God, which will keep us straight in all paths to uprightness and righteousness, as this Proverbs pointed out. That brings us to an end of Proverbs 2. We will see you again tomorrow for Proverbs 3. Take care. God bless.